Hello, be welcome to the introduction to my little four-part guide series about Werewolf Transylvania. This is my favorite custom map in Warcraft 3, arguably even my favorite game of all time. I like it so much that I would like to popularize it a little, and for that I am about to release some guides on how to play this game. And to put the concept of the game into its most simple terms, uh, there will be 8 different people spawning at 8 different locations. One of them you can see here. And one of those guys turns into werewolf at night. That is us, because we see this green writing right here that says, "A wave of numbering force goes through your veins. Oh no, you will turn werewolf next night. Get ready." So up here there is the day and night cycle. You can see it with the mouse cursor. And at the end of that day I turn werewolf. And the other 7 villagers that spawn somewhere around the castle in the middle, they will have to find out who is the werewolf and kill him. And you find that out by just checking people at night. If you see them, they are not the werewolf. I'm going through the different starting locations right here. Don't worry, you don't have to know them by heart yet. And the thing is, first you have to get like an income going. You have to find a way to make gold, and then you build up your base, and then eventually you take the fight to the werewolf. And of course at night you have to defend yourself from him, and at day you will be hunting him down. If you feel very brave and very strong, you can also take the fight to him at night, of course. So now let me show you how to get gold, because this is the most important thing. In the beginning, when I started to play this game, I loved how atmospheric it was and how secretive, and that is why I stuck to it. But for many games, I just had no idea how to make gold. I was always just trading in wood. So the first thing, you can go to this hunter's hall and buy a fishing pole, and then you just stand into the water and click on it. Now I caught a fish, I can sell it. I can even buy a bait, and if you purchase that bait, you can fish even more efficiently. Of course, I didn't catch something now when I said it, but here I catch a big crab, which is even much more valuable. So that is the first way how to make gold. As you can see right now, if you are already familiar with the game, you don't really need this introduction. This is really for people who have no idea at all. And you can jump right to the first guide, where I will be covering basic villager gameplay. The second guide will be basic werewolf gameplay. The third one will be advanced villager gameplay, and for the final guide you will see advanced werewolf gameplay, which will be the most exciting, of course. But really all of the roles are very exciting in this game, which is why I have stuck to it for such a long time. I hope there will be a standalone soon, but it's up to us to make it, of course. So here I have walked up to the bestiary. No, I think this is the mercenary camp in real Warcraft 3. And what you can buy here is spears. And with those spears you just hunt wild animals that are walking around somewhere on the map. I just caught a rabbit right here that I did sell. So now let's walk around a little bit. And oh, now you see the red writing. Dusk is upon us. What does it say? Bar the door and get ready, something like that. So now you see 4, 3, 2, 1, and we transform into werewolf. So now as werewolf, you can just kill the animals, as I'm doing right now, and you can see those weird corpses lying around now. And those corpses mean that whatever you kill stands up the next night as a ghoul. So this is how you want to get going as werewolf. Now let me jump ahead a little bit, and we are at the end of the night. That means we transform back into our human form, and now we just have to pretend like nothing happened and we're an ordinary villager like everybody else. What you can see here is me going to the miner. That is the third of the starting professions you can choose, the third and the last one. And at the miner you buy the mining pick, and then you go to these rocks and you right click them to get some iron, and every now and then you also get some gold. The iron you can also use to make some nice items. The gold you can only sell. The iron you can also sell, of course. But instead of selling all that iron, I am now purchasing a mall, and now I'm choosing which item to craft. Now, the sword I cannot craft because it needs a little more iron, but really the best thing you want to have is the armor that gives you more survivability, which is very important as werewolf and villager. So you want to get that on any roll as quickly as possible. What I'm showing you here is that not only can you craft some things with items from mining, but also with the pelts that you hunt, so the deers that you kill. Right now I have 2 deer pelts, and with that I can make one item here, that is the stack skin drum. And this is an item which is placed in our inventory. The items from mining are just bonuses which we get. And the stack skin drum, it gives us a nice little aura. I'm not really going to cover this here. So now that we have covered the 3 ways how you can get gold initially, we will look at how to make a base. The first building, which you can do for free, is a tent. And before you can make any other building, you have to make that tent. So that is, I think so at least, not entirely sure. So really when you lose the tent, you have to rebuild it, and that is important. We will go into it later. The second building, which I'm doing here, is the grain silo. I think I cancelled it just to show you where it pops up on the menu, which is the second from the top left. And with the tent now, we can make some lumberjacks, so they will give us wood income. The gold income does not have a cap in this game, so theoretically, if you have infinite APM, you can also get an insane amount of gold income. This is not so much true for the wood income. The wood income is capped by the amount of wood lumberjacks you can make, and then later by the amount of adolescent males which you get. But don't worry, we will cover this later. Now when I have the grain silo, I can upgrade my tent into a farm, which I just did. And when I have the farm, you automatically get the villager's best friend, which is the dog. And the dog is super useful. It is one of the key instruments which we will be using in all of our upcoming guides. I would put it on number 2 hotkey, and number 1 hotkey on the villager, just to show you how important that dog actually is. And the dog can go and hunt some animals by itself, as you can see it right here. And he is so smart, he can even sell their pelts by himself. And also you see like a little aura surrounding the dog now, and that is his veteran status. And that means with every animal he kills, the dog gets a little quicker. And what you see here is dog can also do something else, and that is feed on the corpses. And like that you can make those ghoul corpses disappear, so they don't stand up next night. That is very important, of course. I walled myself in here. This is something you do to protect yourself from the werewolf. I have 1 wall and 1 gate. This is not usually what you do, just for illustration purposes. And now I bought some seeds from the warehouse. This is the 3rd building you can see here. Now this is the biggest way to get income actually. However, it does require some gold to work with already, because you have to buy the seeds. Now that I planted them, you can see how they grow. Because I'm the werewolf here, I have to go away now. We just keep focusing on that. And now you see how those seeds have ripened, and now we can pick up and sell them for some more gold. Not only can you buy seeds at the warehouse, but you can also buy sheep and pigs, which is what I'm doing right now. And now I have skipped a little bit, because the base building, like the fundamentals, we have gone over them. Now let me show you how to go into army. And for army, you first want to build a blacksmith. That's what I'm doing right now. And I have also fully upgraded my farm now into a plantation. Once you do that, you get a wife, which is really nice. And eventually you will also have children. And then they will become adolescent males. Go back into army, I will build my war tower. That's just a bit of an example. as to how important the multitasking is in this game. Really, once you see the guides, you will see how hectic it can become. You can sink an infinite amount of APM in this game, really. And what you can see now is the sheep, and now it has full mana. Now for the sheep, this signals their maturity. So a sheep that has full mana can be culled, and when you do that, you get a lot of gold and a lot of experience. So you can see my villager just made a level up there from 10 to 11. Now I am, just for illustrative purposes, making one of each of the units that can be trained. You see more than 3 icons, but there are 3, and the one below them are the upgrades. So you can, these are tier 1 units, and you can go up to tier 5, I think. So you have basic melee units, walking melee units, you have cavalry, and you have range units. And I just made one of each just to show you. And those you make in the war tower, and the upgrades for them, like better armor and better weapons and stuff, you can make in the blacksmith. Yes. Let's see, what else did I have in mind? Yes, the wife has now spawned an adolescent male. Now that guy has matured really quickly. You can see the environment in Transylvania is harsh. There is no time for a nice childhood. In fact, there was not even one entire day that this child had to mature. But once you have the adolescent male, it does some useful things, as the fire I just did right here. And that is actually the end of the introduction video already. I hope you liked it, and at the end of it, let me just quickly make you aware that in the beginning you saw like a link to a forum, and right now the magic is really not happening there anymore, but on the Discord server. And I put the link to that server in the description. It is really helpful, believe me, because as a friend of mine has once jokingly said, I am playing a dead game inside of another dead game here. And so at a good day, there might be like 30 games which you get going. I mean, in total that are being played. And whenever a lobby goes up, you can see it on the Discord server. So that is really a nice way to just communicate to each other and to get people into the games. Now, I also put a link up right here in case I don't know, maybe it helps. So without further ado, that's it, and let's see you in the first guide, the basic villager gameplay. Bye bye.